I'm just going to give a brief tutorial on the use of protractors, these protractors that I've been telling you in particular. So the first thing to know, one thing to know about them is they have inches on both sides. So they have inches divided on this side, inches divided into 10 parts, which is very handy. A lot of rulers will be in 16ths, and it's hard to, I don't think in 16ths, I think 1.6. They have inches divided into 20 parts down here, or like for every tick here, you've got 2 ticks down here. So these are not centimeters, even though they look similar to centimeters. But you can see how the inches, every inch lines up exactly the same on both sides of the rule. Okay. So anytime you're going to be measuring an orientation, you'll need some kind of reference line. So one of the nice things about this kind of protractor is that you can, as long as the line that you want to draw goes to the little tip of that arrow, you can use this edge to draw the straight line. In other words, let's say this is north, and I want to draw north 20 east, a line that goes north 20 east. Okay, so what I would do is I would say, okay, I'm going to use this reference line. So I'm going to have that little arrow. See that little arrow, how it's right on the 3? I'm going to put it right on the line. Okay? And then I'm going to look, see where the line goes through 90. If I go 20 degrees over, then I'm just going to watch this Watch this go from 90 to 80 to 70. So even though I'm not measuring, I didn't say anything about 70. I'm measuring north 20 east, but I'm actually going to move it until it gets to the 70. That makes sense? And then it's all lined up, and I can just draw wherever I need to. I can draw my line that's going north 20 east. And similarly, I can just slide this over, and let's say I need to make the mark over here. The thing to remember is you're like, okay, arrow tip 70, and then you could slide it any way you want. Let's say that the reference line I had available was a north-south reference line. And so in the lab, you actually need to probably draw one in light pencil somewhere, a reference. So in this case, I put the arrow tip on the line. Actually, my reference line isn't quite long enough. Okay. Arrow tips on the line. In this case, when I rotate this towards the east, the thing that's changing is these numbers are appearing on, this line is crossing those. This is, at 90, there's nothing there anymore. So this is kind of what it's more made for. It goes from 0, 10, 20. Okay, that's more intuitive, okay? I just rotate it 10, 20. So it's actually about 19 right now, but going through the arrow tip, going through the 19, look how it lines up exactly with what I had before. And it's every time it's it's what's called a sanity check, okay? You look at it when you're done, you say, okay, I know what a 90-degree angle looks like. Does that look, it says north 20 degrees east of north. Yeah, that looks about right, okay? It's very easy after it never, I make this kind of mistakes all the time. Let's say I wanted to go north 20 west. I would have done the same thing. This time I'm looking up at the top here. So I've made a 10, 20. I can read the 20 right there. And I would draw north 20 west. That's the basic thing. But Any questions? So for the dips, once we've drawn these, once we've got the strike there, then we have to. There's only two choices. It's either going to be, for these first ones, it's either going to be a dip that's to the east or a dip that's to the west. So you look at the letter. So if this had been north 20 east, 64 west. Okay, that means the tick goes on the west side, and I write a 64. That's it. Little thing to tell you about the protractor. So let's say that you wanted to make your strike and dip mark here. So, and it was like a north 30 west. So you'd be like, okay, here's my reference line. I'd like to go over here and then go 30 degrees, but there's no reference line down there. Right? So what are you going to do? So what you can do is you can just flip your protractor over. And now you can go 10, 20, 30. And you can slide it there, and now you can drop. So that will come in handy sometimes.